Alright, we are here back in the arena. We're going to be clearing some dailies here in the Explorer Ranked. We're going to run the exact same Niv Learn package that we were running in the previous videos. I've made no adjustments because, excuse me, I've completely forgot to make my adjustments. Same Learn package, sideboard Scribbling Claws for Graveyard Hate and Veto for Control Hate. And yeah, that's it, ready to go. So let's get into some ranked matches and see how this does. First match here is against Jake MG. We keep a good spray of hands here. We can build to the Niv reload. We have protection from a potential Fortsies. But our opponent just drops a Framing Inspector, so that's quite interesting. They have Yorion here. We have access to a Vanishing Verse, so I'd rather hold that. I do have a little suspicion here, and Charming Fence confirms it. This is a mono-white Blink deck. A few people have been experimenting with this after Saffron L. I've made one with the new Mother of Runes, which is terrible for us if we get it. So we're struggling here for green, and our opponent thinks we might have a greedy mana base, so goes for the Field of Ruin play here, which works out great for us because our Cosmic Rebirth can grab that land now. And we can end of step Growth Spiral because we get blue and green off them. And we find another Niv Mizzet, so we'll leave that go. We do need red now, but we top deck it like a beast, and we drop our Niv. Reload! Free hit's not too bad. We have more dig here and a little bit of removal. At a push and a shove, we can use the Tyrant Skull maybe to bounce the Mother of Runes if it does come down. There is a Niv Supreme, however, I'm potentially worried about a board wipe of some variety. I know that the deck that I've seen people experiment with does run the new Emperor, the Eternal Emperor or whatever it is, the mono white one. They haven't built anything yet, so I'm tempted to just leave it run. We have a full spread of cards here, and I'd rather just have answers for whatever they try to do on 5 mana. So yep, there's the Mother of Machines to kill our ETBs. Now we cannot let them untap with that Mother of Machines, so let's get our lands up and let's bounce it back to their hand. They will get unspeakable value if they get that down. I was going to use this to dig for an answer, which we do find, but we did top deck the Assassin's Trophy to save us if we need it. We put them down to 8 here, so they are dead if they do not have action. They swing in, I'm going to not take the block because we do have potentially out of here. They have a lay down arm, so our Niv dies. We do have another one. They replay the Elesh Norn, we will use Vanishing Verse. Get another land drop. We'll play Niv Supreme here because it's answer to all their removal spells. Awkward mana, unfortunately, of what we have left. So this is proof from their lay down arms. We'll just see what they have left. They play a Cave of Frost Dragon, and yes, there's the Eternal Wanderer. So they -4, which means we lose all but one creature here. I choose to use the Assassin's Trophy immediately just to kill the Eternal Wanderer, because we can't use that on our own permanents, because what I would love to do is use it on the Wandering Mind, so they have to leave us with the Niv Supreme, but alas, we cannot. So we lose that. We'll just play another Niv here because our hand's a bit lower. Final 5 Cram Sessions, so we'll go in here, put them down to 4. Cram Sessions, we can grab Reduce to Memory for any of their exile effects. They might, well, for any of their permanents we want to exile. Sorry. They have Ossification here. They take away our Niv. They attack. They play an Elsbeth Conquers Death, so they are working hard at staying alive here. We play the Wandering Mind, and we have a storm outside, so apologies if you hear the thunder. We'll get that Assassin's Trophy and drop a Kaito. We can drop a drone here because essentially if they remove this, it drains them for half their life now. So they have Skyclave Apparition, which takes out the Kaito. And they have a long think here. They play the Paragon, they tap their Cave of Frost Dragon, and they have Ossification here to get rid of the Wandering Mind. So they play a Field of Ruin. We top deck our third Niv Mizzet, very good. Get in here with our Death Toucher. They trade for it because they have the reanimation here. So what I can do is I could dig for an answer here, but I'd rather just take out their land. They're on 2 life, so if we can find another Kaito to make a drone or a Kolaghan's Command, we could have a way out here. So let's drop a Wandering Mind, and perfect, we hit it. So we just hope they don't have a secret way to gain life very quickly here. They're doing a basic land check here. They blow up our demolition field. We choose a black. Drop a land. They throw down the Yorion. They don't want to give us anything, so they're just going to blink the Thraben Inspector. They untap here. I'll play the World Tree, so our man's perfectly fine here. And I actually use my lesson here because I want to win technically with a lesson. And our opponent concedes. So with that in mind, I think we just run it back. We had a good match with them there. We have answers to a lot of their permanents. It's a very cool mono-white blink deck. Would honestly love to play something similar. And Blink is one of my favourite archetypes in Constructed. I hate it in Commander, but I do love it in Constructed. Match 2. Sorry, Game 2, Match 1. If we're getting technical. All 5 lands here, so we'll take this. We have a Supreme Verdict to potentially deal with a problematic board. They draw a Field of Ruin on 2 and an Ambitious Farmhand to find a land. Good blink target. I respect this deck they've made here. Shock in and go for the Cram Sessions. I'm going to take the Pest Summonings because it's our classic and favourite. I do need to review these lessons. When I finish editing this video, I'm definitely going to do that. Next video, there will be an updated deck. Play our land here, and we're going to run out the Wandering Mind here, because if they take the turn to Field of Ruin, they won't do anything else. Another Field of Ruin, so they could double Field of Ruin us here. They Field of Ruin us, and I choose I'll grab white. Because we have black and green in hand. The Ossification, take out our Wandering Mind. We'll play a green here, and yes, we will Growth Spiral and then just pass. There's no threat on the board here, and we have the mana. I got a white to hold up the Supreme Verdict in case they run out more hate pieces like Elesh Norn to try and stop our ETBs. They Field of Ruin our other land here, so we will just grab black. So we now have all 5 lands still. Draw another Niv Mizzet, which is great here. I decided to just run it out and see what they answer it with. We get a perfect slew of cards here that answer things, so we'll just get rid of our 2 lessons, which is a shame. But not game over, because we do see potentially that we could play them later. Elsbeth answers our Niv Mizzet. So, tapping out here, I'm going to Vanishing Verse the Conqueror's Death before they get any value out of it. We have a land in our graveyard, so I think with 6 cards in hand here, I'm happy to just pass. They get in with a 1 again. There's no real pressure here, we're still on 15. Charming Prince comes down. They scry. They have Yorion in hand, so they could do like a big blink here. So if they go for the Yorion, I'm going to choose to kill the Charming Prince, which they do. So I go for Tyrant Scorn here to kill the Prince, because they can set up a loop where Yorion will blink to the end of turn, then Prince will blink on its ETB, then Yorion will get rid of everything again, and they'll just start looping and gaining absurd value. So we'll just now, Cosmic Rebirth, get our land back. We have our land things here. We're just going to hit the Supreme Verdict now, so there's nothing on the board. We'll hold up a Growth Spiral or a Assassin's Trophy. I'm going to Assassin's Trophy the land here, because it'll get him another land, but the enchantment will drop off. This is a key thing to do if you're up against mono green devotion as well. Remember that play. Reload time. Not the greatest. We've got 2 lands here, but we do have 8 power on the board now to threaten. But with 8 lands, they should probably have a board wipe or way to deal with it. They go for a Skyclave Apparition. I choose to let this go. I'm going to hold the Tyrant Scorn to either answer something problematic or bounce our Niv. End of the turn, we'll just Growth Spiral. Find a Kolaghan's Command. Ooh, the Thunder's coming down out there. Another Growth Spiral, drop a land. We have Leyline Binding now. Good for you to show up. Hit with Niv. I'm concerned they could have the One Ring Emperor, which is why I'm holding back on the Tyrant Scorn. 9 planes. They go for a laydown arm, so that's Tyrant Scorn, bounce Niv back to our hand to keep them safe. See what they do. They play a planes, go in for 2. I'm going to wait till their end step, and I'm going to use Kolaghan's Command to make them discard, reduce their resources, and get the Skyclave killed. They drop a Portable Hole, we will get a free, play another land, hit them for free, see what their final card is. It's an Iganjo, so now they have no cards, we'll just redeploy Niv Mizzet. We'll change the Crown Sessions because I want to just have learn cards on the field. I'll play a Klothys, but of course they topped up Skyclave, so that's pointless. Oh, so we'll just drop a Kaito instead and a Wandering Mind. We'll find another Assassin's Trophy. We'll make a drone and we'll get in for 6. So they're dead to whatever we have here. Well, they're dead to this common board if they don't kill it. As a board wipe, we get a free that we can still apply pressure with. So our opponent has a think. I wonder what they do here, but they just concede. So good showing there. We grinded it out. Next one. We have another Yorion deck, so this appears to be the day of the 80 carders. We'll drop a Triumph. They drop a Triumph, so this is either the Mirror Match or potentially the Doom Foretold or Enigmatic Incarnation. Nalia's presence immediately proves that this is Enigmatic Incarnation, which is one of our worst matchups. It's truthfully a deck that just grinds way better than we do. They get to tutor once every turn, but their deck is highly optimized. People on the channel will know I previously did play a version before we finish that. We do have the trick here, so what we do is we can Assassin's Trophy the Breeding Pool here, make them lose their enchantment, and they still stay up a land. So it's technically a 1-for-1, but we can test their basics as well. Anyone who's known the channel for a while will know that I played a version of the Yorion deck, Yorion Enigmatic Incarnations deck with Niv Mizzet, and it was probably the strongest version of the deck I've built, apart from the truly optimized one. They play a Skyclave, so they get rid of our Kaito. I'm going to use Crown Sessions here, grab the Environmental Studies. I choose not to tap out here because we could see the fires into Enigmatic again. Yep, there's fires. And then here's Enigmatic Incarnation. So probably should have held on in hindsight to the Assassin's Trophy. So in response to the trigger, we'll just get rid of the Fires Invention so they can't sack anything. We'll Environmental Studies to get our basic situation sorted. And then we'll pass. Basically, we just don't want them to sack. So the key thing about this deck is they want to drop a Leyline Binding and then Enigmatic that into a Agent of Treachery. But as you see here, they have some incredible lines that just outvalue us. So for example, they sack the Trial of Ambition here with the first Enigmatic trigger to get a Renegade Rallier, returning the Nalia's Presence, which will draw them a card. Then they can use a second enigmatic trigger to sack Nalia's Presence to get another free drop out of their deck. In this case, they're taking about it. Moonblessed Cleric, which will get them a Leyline Binding. As I said before, that's their whole purpose. They just want to sack that to attempt to get a Agent of Treachery. They'll also attempt to do similar lines to get Elesh Norn, Mother of Runes down. So they drop in Nalia's Presence here, draw a card, play a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the bane of my existence currently. I agree with the banning in Standard. I don't know about how I feel about banning it in other formats. We're going to take a lot of damage here, but what I can do here is use the Kolaghan's Command to make them discard, kill the Skyclave Apparition, get a 4/4, block one of their creatures, and then use a Vanishing Verse. Problem is, right, if I get rid of Leyline Binding, which I do here, I mean, I've got a chance, but the thing is, Fable's just going to flip now. Because I don't have the 6 Miracle whatever card that somehow stops Fable and Mirror Breaker working efficiently, there's no real line here, and our removal package is not really going to work when they have lines like this where they can just literally rebuy everything every turn. So get Gloom Thing, return the Skyclave Apparition, grab a 4-drop, which is Nicol Bolas, so we have to drop one of our cards. Choose to attack here, puts them down to 10. We'll hit the board wipe. They get to discard and loot with the Fable. They play an Elesh Norn because they just have one in their hand. And now they get to sack Fable and the Mirror Breaker, grab a Siege Rhino, double trigger that, sack the second copy of Enigmatic Incarnation here to grab a 5-drop, which they get Tolsimir, which, if I'm honest, I think if they were more optimally built, they should have got a Yorion. So we'll just board wipe, so there's nothing left on the trigger. They have 2 cards in hand here, so we do have a chance. But they have Bitter Reunion, so that gets rid of a card, draws them 2. They get a Zur, which lets them animate their enchantment now. Now they sack Bitter Reunion and they get another Enigmatic Incarnation. You might ask how they do that. Well, it's because they grab the Glasspool Mimic, which enters as a copy of the trigger. So we'll use Niv here and we just don't find an answer, so bearing anything insane happening on our next turn, if we get that far, we might be alright. If not, we're just pretty much dead here. They just naturally have Titan of Industry, so yeah. Sadly, this match is over. They put a shield counter onto the Enigmatic Incarnation, so we can't even do anything with that. Yep, sad truth. Going a bit quiet here because not really nothing to say here. They get a Cavalier of Dawn, then don't sack anything. We draw a land, so there's nothing to do here. The real way you got to fight this deck is you've just got to hope they don't have it. Basically, if they get to turn 4 Enigmatic Incarnation, you're pretty much done. So we got to bring in our control counters here. So we'll bring in the vetoes, and we bring in the claws because they have a lot of ways to buy back things that we kill. We just take out anything that's a bit slow or doesn't deal with specifically permanents and threats that we deal with. Yeah, ultimately, the way you fight this deck is you have to either get off your engine running first, or force them to stumble. For example, just counter their Enigmatic Incarnation. The deck really struggles if they don't get an Incarnation down. Keep a controversial hand here, but basically, yeah, you can't go truly long game against this deck if there's an Enigmatic Incarnation on the field, because you will just fail. We're going to use Growth Spiral to draw a card and pass. Opponent plays their lands. We're on to 4 mana here. We'll use Crown Sessions. We'll grab a Containment Breach to kill any annoying enchantments they might play. And they drop a Fable. So this is now where the issue comes in, because now we don't have a clean answer to Fable. We kill the Fable with our removal spell, and they just naturally still have the ramp card. This is why I'm kind of down on Fable existing in the format. So we got to use another removal spell to kill their one card. And now we've got to untap, but they just have another one, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, I think I would like Wizards to maybe print a command that says, like, Kolaghan's Command, 2 damage and destroy an enchantment. I think that would be a fair inclusion, I think. That's how I would like to deal with it. Like, if Witherbloom Command had said, you know, 2 damage, you know, creature gets -2/-2 and destroy an enchantment. But yeah, this is basically, they don't get off the ground as fast this game, but they do get their fires on turn 4, and they just have 3 Fables. So that's basically how the game's going to end. We're just going to lose the match because Fable of the Mirror Breakers. It's a sad truth of the current meta is basically any deck should run Fable. We'll drop a Niv to reload, but we sadly don't find anything enough here. We probably should have played Scribble Claws as well, but I was too tilted by the fact that Fable just kept giving them answers. Yeah, so here's the problem now. Now if they get their Enigmatic Incarnation, they can tutor out creatures, copy them with the reflections. They have a Deputy Defensor on Niv here. They play their Enigmatic Incarnation. They play a land. Put your own into hand. Make 2 treasures. They sack the Fires of Invention, which gets the Alish Norn, so we pretty much have lost now because we don't have the board wipe to deal with them. So I just pass here. I can double Assassin's Trophy, which I really don't want to. But they Gloomstraven here to get back another card. So with Elesh Norn, this match is just over. They're just going to start copying their double ETBs here. And we're just too far behind at this point to even make a match. And with the Fable, they have the Infinite Fable glitch. So for those who don't know, the Infinite Fable glitch is if you have an active Fable. They don't use it here, but they could next turn. You can basically copy the Fable, copy the Fable, copy the Fable as much times as you have mana, and then potentially just do that damage. They have a bit of reunion anyway. Yeah. Not a lot to say. This one just got away from us. This one's truly a grind fest. I think these matches come down to basically, can we stop the Enigmatics from starting? And if we can't, which we didn't in this match or the first match, then we're just going to ultimately get grinded out and lose. So we will Assassin's Trophy here. We get hit down. They have a Leyline Binding, so we have to veto that because we don't want them getting an Agent of Treachery trigger, but ultimately we're just not going to do it. Alright, now last match in this set, a little bit of a palate cleanser, is one to highlight the weird side of Arena. Our opponent mulligans twice and then concedes. So I'm thinking to myself, trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, my client nearly crashed. Okay, I'll just run it back, see what's going on. I'm thinking, I wonder what my opponent's doing. Is he the new Boros Convoke deck? You know, something glass cannony that needs a really good start. Surely he's playing something crazy experimental, so I'm pretty excited to see what it is. So let's go to the second match. They mulligan to 5, and it's Rakdos. So this put a smile on my face because we feel no sympathy for Rakdos players when they have to mulligan because they just get no luck. But at this point, though, when I'm playing the game, I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure this has to be something different or fun. Maybe he's playing something crazy like Rakdos Vampires or, something new, but he just doesn't play anything for a while. So I'm like, what could it be? Let's drop a Wandering Mind and have a look. We only hit a Growth Spiral. Opponent goes and then plays a Chain Whirler. I'm like, ooh, this looks cool. Maybe it's something different. He's got a Grixis land. We'll play an Edgar. Let's see if there's anything fascinating. Then just a Blood type Harvester. So it is literally just a Rakdos deck. Figure we'll just drop a Niv and grab a reload while we can. We draw perfectly because we only get 3 cards, so we don't have to discard. We'll swing in with Edgar here. We'll kill the Blood type. Edgar just flips over into his coffin form. Opponent just passes. We'll make a 1/1. Shock some mana in. We'll hit him with a Niv. Put him on the clock. We'll use Crime Sessions here, gain back a bit of life, see what's going on. And look at our potential options. Still pursued. I go with the Environmental Sciences, but I choose not to use it yet. Our opponent goes for Thoughtseize. Totally okay with this. They take an Assassin's Trophy. At this point, I'm still thinking to myself, there's got to be something cool they're trying to do. Maybe they're a Reanimator deck. Maybe they're, that's why they took the Assassin's Trophy instead of the Niv Mizzet Supreme. But our opponent just passes the turn again. So in the end step, we just go for the Growth Spiral. We find another land, drop it. We'll use the Tyrant Scorn just to kill the Chain Whirler. We flip. Attack in for 7. Gain back the life, go back to 18. Use Environmental Studies to go back to our starting life total. Grab another land while we've got it. Drop that land and pass. Our opponent then just concedes. So very weird and very disappointing.